What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and all is calm and quiet and clean in the shop because the Neo Geo project has actually moved inside. It's downstairs, it's in the basement, ready for final assembly. The next step is going to be applying the vinyl graphics, and the first step in that process is figuring out the dimensions of that front panel. 11 7/8 inside to inside. Now you could just cut the thing out, lay it in here, and then just take your razor knife and trim in the corner. I'm just afraid that I might cut away some of that black paint in there that the T-molding is not going to cover, because you got about a good, that's at least 1/4 of an inch-ish. Yeah, you got about 1/4 of an inch recess of this panel in. So I don't want that to be effective, but it is a way that you could definitely do it. You could do that. I'm going to try to cut this just as close as I possibly can so that whenever I lay this in, it just lays in and I don't have to worry about cutting the inside. I did do some overspray, some black overspray, so if for some reason it is a little bit not exact, the black will be there to kind of hide. So, all right, let's go back over here. Okay, so put some boards down so you don't cut your carpet. Make your wife mad. Don't do that. Okay, so we got a backing we can cut through. It's not going to be a problem. I don't know. Let's see. How does it fit? It fits. Oh, it fits perfect. Look at that. Perfect. Perfect. There's a little bit there. This is nice. Oh, how wonderful. And then I can just maybe just tuck it underneath or just cut it off. Flushy, flushy. What do you think? You think we do that? This is very exciting. This required so much work. And now that work is done, this is just like, this is the payoff. You know what it's time to do now, right? Oh, he did it. Oh, what has he done? Oh, no. Very gently. Beautiful. Look at that, huh? Put the coin door in place. Trinkets. Just throw it in there. Everything's out of the way. Oh, damn, son. That looks great. So I've got all the wiring harness plugged in. This is your coin door. This is the credit reader. And then these are the actual service and test buttons here. And the last thing to hook up is the main power switch. It's going to go right there. All right. With all that, we are done. I mean, with this part, we're done with this part. We're not done with this, just this right here. Looking good. Now, let's work on the T-molding for the base. So T-molding on the Big Red is a little bit different than some cabinets. You've got 4 pieces that start here and then go all the way down and just tuck under maybe 4 inches on these 4 front-facing corners here. So you do that, you cut this nice and flush, start at the top, work your way down, go all the way around. And then once you get that done, you're going to have, which one is it? Is this one? This one? Or yeah, this one. You're going to have these little edge protectors, little corners that go on top of the T-molding and then screw into the cabinet. It's a way to kind of, I guess, retain the T-molding and then give it this really cool look on the bottom. Also, I'm going to replace the screws that were in it, that were all rusted out, with the stainless steel wood screws here. Complete the look. Okay, so let's work on the base. We'll get the bottom all done. And then once we get the side panels on, we can work on the upper section there. I just hope that I bought enough T-molding. Maybe 3, just enough to really make that turn, and then get inside that groove. Oh yeah. Last side. Yeah, I got the other side done without the camera rolling because I didn't want you to see all the profanity-laced tirades, of which there were very few. A lot of stuff going on here. To get this graphic lined up, the best way that I know how is I took a straight edge and I went to the E's in the Neo Geo. I took a Sharpie and I marked back and front. That gives me kind of a reference point. And then I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to do it. Do I peel all the paper back? What I did is I cut about a 4-inch strip of paper off of the graphic, and then I started where the O is. Got that lined up from my reference point, got it lined up there, stuck it, and then I checked the front to make sure that was level. And when I thought it was level, I held the paper up here, and then with my actual level, I would check the new graphic to make sure that the word Neo Geo was actually level, because the way it sits now on this cabinet, it is level. So once you know that that's good, you can go ahead and throw your level off to the side and begin to peel the paper back and work the graphic from the back forward. I know everybody has different techniques, but that's what worked for me. Okay, so with all the big stuff taken care of, now it's time to really just use or cut out the last decal that I'm going to use, and that's this right here. The control panel, you know, I've got that all taken care of. We don't need this Neo Geo decal here for the Marquee, although that does look kind of cool. I might just cut that out and leave that. But what I'm talking about now is the cover for the memory card / headphone jack. This is the original. You see how yellow and dirty and nasty this thing was. They actually start out life white, if you can believe it, but these always seem to fade over time. Not sure if that's just the way that it was, the material was printed on. I have no idea. So what we're going to do is, instead of using this whole piece here, I'm just going to use the piece here. And there's a couple ways. Obviously, you're going to cut it out, right? So cutting out is no big deal. And cutting out this rectangle, that's no big deal, but the circles can be a little bit of a challenge. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to use one of these kits here. It's like a hole punch kit. It's like a gasket maker. It's made for, you know, cutting circles and gasket material. And this is going to allow me to make perfect circles right here on these spots that have to they have to be perfect circles if you want that to fit right for your actual headphone connection. So the way I want to do this, let me grab the silver Sharpie. Yeah, if you ever have to cut anything that's black, cutting black metal or plastic or whatever, it's always nice to have one of these silver Sharpies. And what I'm going to do with this is take the original and just lay it over it and make sure that the alignment is absolutely where it should be. And yeah, looks like as long as we cut out the black, we're going to be good to go. Put this on the handle, I'll screw that on. Push it all the way down, and then boom. Look at that, huh? Okay, so the final piece of the puzzle, well, I guess the second to last, the second to final, the almost final. Anyway, let's just focus on what's in front of us right now, and that is this beautiful control panel. So now we're going to go and remove all the switches, because when I took the whole thing apart, I just left the switches on and I labeled them, as you remember in the previous video. So now we're going to take this and just basically take the yellow switch out, connect these wires to the new yellow switch. And then we're going to go through all the switches, and then we're going to start. I'm starting on this end, the second player side, because when we get to the first player side, we know we have some issues over here. The buttons are all good, but we've got some soldered connections over here, and just stuff that's just not good. I did add a piece of foam too, and I didn't point this out before when I did the control panel rebuild, but there is a piece of foam here to press against the glass. Here is the Marquee panel. I got the speakers removed. Let's flip it over on the other side. You can kind of see what's going on here. As far as the electronics for the stock control panel, the stock Marquee controller here, this was the board plugged into here. You had two separate panels that were connected together. So, you know, if they had a 2-slot or a 4-slot or a 6-slot, then they would just add the additional panels. So what we're going to do, and remove all this stuff, obviously, and then we're going to install the new LED kit. What we're going to do is replace this board with this board that comes in the kit, and then the panels on the front side of the board, flip these over, are going to be replaced with 4 individual panels here. These 3D printed brackets here house the LED panel on the back side, and then we have 4 of these. Like I said, each one is color coded. So this is going to be obviously your black, is going to be your ground, and then yellow is going to be your positive, and then you got purple, white, and then green. Kind of helps you keep it all straight. So what I'm going to do is take a few measurements and basically figure out about where this is going to go. I think I'm going to have them like this, so I can run my wires up through the top here, and then I'll connect them to the back of the new controller board here. But for right now, let's go ahead and strip this whole thing down. The speakers are already gone, but let's go ahead and strip it down the rest of the way. Oh, before we move on, as far as speakers go, the reason I removed these speakers here is because they're going to be replaced with these bad boys. Now, these are 8 ohm, but they've obviously got some newer speakers, so you're going to have better materials that make up the cone itself, and then a massive magnet. So hopefully that's going to really kick out some better bass. But other than that, the overall size is exactly the same. Okay, so we'll swap out the speakers only after we swap all this out. All right, so here is the new panel, all pre-wired, ready to go. I'll show you the back real quick. All the wiring's been neatly tucked in. You see the new board centered up right there. And of course the new speakers up here. Of course, the stock wiring connection is going to be fine for the LCD panels, but for the speakers, I actually had to crimp new ends on all 4 of the wires, because these terminals for these bigger speakers are, of course, just a little bit bigger. Rotate the whole thing up like this. And in case you were curious, these little film miniature marquees, the way they go in here, you just kind of put them on one side, bend them ever so slightly, and then do them in the other. I've got a brand new power cable, because why not? The other one was fine, I mean, it worked, but why not just go to Amazon, spend a few more bucks, and eliminate one more potential problem from the equation. Let's do the initial power up. Let's go. Nice. Sound is working on both speakers. Sounds great. Volume down just a little bit. Awesome. I don't have the 161 board plugged in yet. All right, let's check the alignment. See if the marquee is lined up with the marquee cover. That's good. And now for the absolute final thing that had to be made for this cabinet, and it is a black cardboard bezel that goes around the monitor. I just had to buy some black cardboard from Amazon, and of course you can't buy one, you have to buy a pack of 25, so this allowed me to make a few mistakes. But I took my measurements, took my time, and I was able to make one, and it's just simply something to cover up the monitor brackets and the bolts that hold the monitor into the cabinet. It was something that was missing from this cabinet. The bracketry can be seen under the tinted glass, so it's really something that really just kind of needs to be there to finish the whole thing off, to finish the look. And once the tinted glass is in place, this thing is complete and it looks beautiful. So happy right now. Okay, so while this is all great and fine and good, now we got to get this into the arcade, and that's going to take just a little bit of work. Now with all that work done, it's time to sit back and admire this beautiful addition to the Foxcade. I am so happy to have this bucket list cab in my collection. Now, I know I say that a lot, but when you have a small arcade, it's easy to consider every cabinet a bucket list item. This is a perfect example of 90s arcade goodness, and with the ability to swap in games as long as you can find the cartridges and afford them when you do find them, it's going to give this infinite replayability. Everything looks good on the cabinet. Everything functions as it should. I can't wait to log hours of play on this, days, weeks, months. Anyway, let me know what you think about this machine in the comments section below. You have a blessed day, and I will see all of you next time.